Before the United Nations Committee of Four in New York, Commission on Decolonization Executive Director Ed Alvarez and Speaker Judy Wampat presented testimony regarding Guam's quest for self-determination. From October 4th to the 6th, Alvarez says he let the committee know the time is now to strengthen Guam's relationship with the United States.
We let them know that we were serious about embarking on this quest for political destiny. We let them know about the history again, a brief history of what's happened, and that it's time to modernize the relationship between Guam and the United States as far as political status.
Speaker Wampat, meanwhile, appealed for the assistance of the UN in the political evolution of Guam and suggested 3 steps for the consideration of the committee, including to rebuke administering powers that continue the practice of colonialism, dispatch a special mission to Guam to provide information to the people of Guam on the role of the United Nations in the process of self-determination, and recognize Guam and other non-self-governing territories as member states of the United Nations. It's been 30 years since the UN has dealt with decolonization, with 16 colonies currently remaining, including Guam.
The other was to also present a plan, a call for action by this committee, because they have decided to make this the 3rd decade. And I've asked that this not just be a 3rd decade, which would be 30 years, but rather that they pass a resolution saying that this will be the final decade in which then they should be able to eradicate, the colonies.
Although it may be costly to send delegates to the UN, Wampat adds the Guam legislature will continue efforts for decolonization by spearheading a series of conferences regarding Guam's political self-determination. She adds a presence must be made to continue dialogue and educating them about Guam. Moving forward, International Advisor on Governance and former Minister for External Affairs for the U.S. Virgin Islands, Dr. Carlisle Corbin, is on Guam to provide training on the UN process and a history of other countries who had gone through decolonization. He says other territories are in the same situation, and there are various stages of political evolution and modernization that need to be addressed.
This is important to know because we're not all isolated in that respect, and what we can do together and the information we can exchange is always useful. It is also important to have, to the degree possible, a common message and common information and moving forward, so that the message coming from 5 or 4 is a bit stronger than coming from 1.
Corbin has served for more than a decade as a United Nations expert on self-determination and will discuss his experiences with relating issues in Puerto Rico, American Samoa, CNMI, and the Virgin Islands as well. The seminar takes place on Thursday at Adelut from 2 to 5 o'clock. Alvarez says the commission will reconvene its meetings once the governor returns from off-island.